In a game that you never trailed, what set the tone?
Our energy and our defensive intensity. The game plan that we had, we stuck to it. You know, we had some laws in that third quarter that, as a group, we know we don't like, but the energy was there from the start.
20 of your first 23 points came in the paint. Is that what allowed you to find your offense?
Just trying to be aggressive. You know, on the road, you got to be aggressive. You can't settle from the outside, especially to start off a series. So, wanted to be aggressive. I got so many shooters out there that allows me to get driving lanes. I just try to put the pressure on the defense.
You've called game one your feel-out game. How do you feel now heading into Friday?
Yeah, it was definitely a feel-out game. You know, we kind of know what they want to get to. They kind of know what we want to get to. But you know, after 10 days off, I didn't feel that great. But I know I feel a lot better going into game two. You know, so I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Congrats, LeBron.
All right, thanks, Kristen.
Guys.
LeBron, by my count, they put about 8 different defenders on you. They rolled a bunch of different guys, whether it's switches or matchups or whatever. When you're having success on no matter who they're putting on you, you think that does anything for you momentum-wise, or does it defeat them at all when they're trying so many different options on you and none of them are working?
I don't think it's no momentum. You know, I pretty much know, you know, how many guys I'm going to see throughout the course of a game. I know the guy that's going to start on me. I know the guy that's going to shift off onto me if a sub happens, or, you know, if they go small or if they go big. So, you know, for me, you know, the only thing on my mind is how we can execute the best way we can to get a bucket in this possession. Either if I can get myself shot, if I can drive, get my shooters a shot, or if I can get something for double T in the paint, or if we get to the free throw line. So, you know, it's not an individual matchup for me, no matter who's in front of me. I'm just trying to, you know, my mind is always racing on, you know, how I can make us the best possession, you know, at that particular time.
Bob Sean, the Citizen, for both of you guys. LeBron, I know you study the game the way you do. Are you setting up Kevin to get the best out of him from perhaps back to his Minnesota days? And Kevin, is this as good as you felt, I mean, in terms of your comfort zone year 3 with the team?
Well, for me, I saw it in Kev this morning. And I knew what type of game he was going to have, you know, and so, I mean, he came through for us. And I think, you know, we want the mentality of Kevin from Minnesota, but he doesn't have to, his usage rate doesn't have to be as high as Minnesota. You know, obviously we all know that he was a featured guy pretty much every possession going down the floor. You know, and here that's changed a little bit because we have other guys, but his mentality needs to stay the same as Minnesota. And I think, you know, as he continues to get even more comfortable, you know, and tonight was one of those instances where, you know, every time he got the ball, it was a small guard or somebody was in the post, he was aggressive. You know, he grabbed every rebound for the most part with him and Tristan in the paint, and he was very aggressive with his shot. And he also got to the free throw line 10 times, so, 9. But so it definitely, you know, that mentality from Minnesota is what we all love.
Days off, kind of keep the discipline that you had day in, day out with practice, and Kevin too, with, you know, obviously all the time you guys have had off, and making sure the momentum was still there.
Well, we put in a lot of work. And you know, Coach gave us a couple of days off after we closed the series in Toronto, but after that, we've been on the practice court or we've been in the weight room training as if we were playing. And there's no way you can substitute a game. We all know that. But, you know, the work that we put in this week, we just tried to, you know, be as up to speed as possible when the game did come. And, you know, tonight was just another opportunity for us to, you know, implement our scheme. Our coaching staff gave us a great game plan, and it was up to us to go out and execute it.
Ken Berger with The Athletic. LeBron, you've had a lot of playoff moments here in this building, some great moments for you, some disappointments as well. There seemed to be a relentlessness or a ruthlessness in your game and in your approach tonight. Is that for you? Is that for your teammates, or is that for the opponent?
Well, I think it's the mindset that you have to have when you go on the road for game one. You can't start the game off, you know, lax or shooting a bunch of jump shots. You know, and that's my mindset. We got guys that can shoot the heck out of the ball, and obviously Kev showed that tonight. You know, but for myself, you know, I have to be in attack mode and just put the pressure on the defense and see what happens. And I was able to do that and kind of just set the tone early, on what we needed to do. And once I started to see the defense start to crack in, then I started to find my shooters. And I don't even think we played, that great tonight. I mean, we definitely didn't shoot the ball, as well as we capable of shooting. I know Kyle had 3 or 4 very, very good looks that he missed, when we had a good stretch. But, I think the energy and the effort and the mindset was where it needed to be starting on the road, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals.
LeBron, you said this morning no matter what coverage was shown or new or adjustment was going to be made, you would be ready, your guys would be ready. What did that look like in the locker room before you guys took the floor?
Our coach staff gave us a great game plan, Allie, and we knew they were going to make adjustments, and it started with inserting Gerald Green into the starting lineup, so they wanted to get a little bit more, punch in their offensive activity, and it happened early. Gerald Green hit 2 threes, but we just had to figure it out. We're a team that's good on the fly, and we figured it out. We started to push the tempo offensively, get stops defensively, and we was able to turn this ball game full around.
With the way you guys are playing right now, is there a challenge or is complacency even an issue?
Nah, there's no such thing as complacency in the playoffs because you can lose a game and you can lose a series. Can't let the momentum change. So, listen, we came here and won 2 games in a row. But it means nothing if we go home and think that just because we beat them on their floor, it's going to be automatic at home. So we got to be even more in tune than our home fans. I know they've been waiting on us. They haven't seen us since game 2 of the last series. So we look forward to getting back.
Tonight was your 8th straight game of 30 points or more. This mission that you personally are on, LeBron, why hasn't anyone been able to slow you down?
I'm just mentally focused, mentally challenging myself to try to be as perfect as I can be. And I know I'm not perfect, but I try to be as perfect as I can be every single night when I come out on this floor, put myself, put the teammates in position we'll be successful. And we're doing that so far, and hopefully I can continue that.
Because you love a good challenge, you talked about getting back home. It's been 17 days since you've seen that home crowd. What's the challenge you present to your guys to get it even better?
We got to get our rest. I mean, it's basically like a back-to-back because we got to fly tonight, and then we play on Sunday. So, the treatment starts now and tomorrow. But mentally, when we come in tomorrow, we got to look at the film. There's still some things we could have did better, even though we played a great game. And we can't be, like I said, there's no such thing as complacency right now in the postseason. So we look forward to the challenge.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. LeBron, the MVP voting came out a couple minutes before the tip tonight, and wondering if you saw those results, that you were not in the top 3, and if that fit into the game at all, and whether or not you even saw your reaction not being in the top 3.
No, I didn't see it. And what you gonna do about it at the end of the day? I mean, my only job is to try to be the MVP for this team every night. Put my teammates, put our franchise in position to be successful, and ultimately complete for a championship, though. So, for me, I know what I bring to the table. This league knows what I bring to the table. So, it's for you guys to write about. It's not for me to be concerned about it.
Joe.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Before the playoffs, you said you thought that you had enough to win a championship this year. What are you seeing from your team now? 10 straight, and obviously tonight's game was what it was. Where do you see this team right now?
We just want to try to get better. I also told you we had another level, and you looked at me crazy. And I told you that. I believe we got another level as well. As well as we played tonight, there were still some things we could have did better. We had a few bad turnovers offensively that we could do better. We had a couple miscues defensively where we gave us some open looks. So we can just continue to we can get better, and that's a positive for our ball club. And it's no complacency with us right now. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's the postseason, but we like where we're headed, in the direction we're headed right now.
Dave.
David Brenneman, ESPN. LeBron, even before the series started, Brad Stevens said that he felt like the Cavs had a perfect roster. That was before you were up 28 in Game 1, before you're up 50 in Game 2. What do you feel about the roster composition and the pieces that you have and what you are potentially able to accomplish with them?
Well, I mean, that's a huge compliment, but there's no such thing for us. We don't have a perfect roster. We don't have a perfect team, but we can make up for mistakes, and we can make up for maybe some deficiencies that we may have because we communicate, we fly around, and we sacrifice one another. So that could put us as close to perfection as possible, which you can't ever get to. But our communication level, our sacrifice, what we give to each other every night, kind of covers that. Kind of covers some of the faults that we may have, and with the faults that we do have, we try to get better and better at it. So we could be as great as we can be every single night.
Middle right. You.
Oh, sorry. Jake Fisher with Sports Illustrated. LeBron, he said this team had another level, but now you've won 13 straight games in the postseason. Is this the highest level that you've played offensively in your career?
I don't know. I'm a guy who lives in the moment, and our team is in a great groove, and I'm happy to be a part of that groove. So, at the end of the day, we want to try to put ourselves in position to win every game. That's the goal. And can you do that? Sometimes you come out with an L, but it's how you learn from those experiences that's going to help you off the next time. So we are in a good groove as a team, and we want to try to continue that going home.
Left side.
LeBron, Tom Lydon, Boston 25 News to your left here. Isaiah sat out the second half. Brad told us before you came out here that he's been dealing with an injury since last week. Can you sense something physically different with him through these first two games?
I don't pay attention to those things, to be honest. I only pay attention to what's going on with our guys and how we can put, a lot of pressure on the opposing team, from IT to the rest of those guys. So, obviously we didn't see him in the second half. Marcus Smart started the second half, but, that was not our concern going into the second half. Our concern was not get complacent. Don't do what we did, in game one in the third quarter here where we gave up, I think, 36 or something points, in that quarter and allowed them to get into a good groove. So it's not my concern.
Jared Weiss, CLNS Media Network. Do you feel like with your physical perimeter defense, you guys have kind of pushed them out of their comfortable game plan and kind of put their backs against the wall at this point?
Well, they're going to make another adjustment, and we have to be ready for that going into game three. We're going to watch film tomorrow and see ways we can be better. We do have some great perimeter defenders that takes the challenge, but we also have great third-line defense as well, with our front line who communicates, pick and roll coverages or pin down coverages or whatever coverages that's going on that allow the guards to get up into the ball or, do what they need to do to be successful versus their guards.
Bob Schramm, the Citizen. LeBron, Brad was saying one of the takeaways he took from the game was in the beginning of the fourth quarter, Kyle, a bunch of the veterans were out there, RJ, playing so professionally. Are you guys at a point where you're challenging each other, excellent veterans, making each other better?
Well, absolutely. We had a veteran ball club. We want, one of the oldest teams in the league, so we all push each other. We're here for one reason. When you sign up to be here, we're here to compete. We're here to sacrifice for one another. And if you're in garbage time or if you're in the crunch time, you need to be a professional. And, RJ's done that. Champ has done that. Channing is doing that. You see guys playing one round that has a huge, a huge piece for one round, but then the next round, certain things change. And guys just continue to stay ready. Guys continue to stay professional, and it's great to be in the locker room like that.
Anything else? Derek, thank you.
It's John Telich, Fox 8. LeBron, you guys were up 21 points. What happened? What factors led to Boston coming back at you?
Momentum. We didn't continue to press the tempo. Marcus Smart started to hit a lot of threes. They started to get momentum, and that's what happened. You give a little team. You give a team a life, and they played so freely without IT, and they just made play after play after play, and we couldn't weather the storm.
LeBron, you had a tough second half with just 3 points. What were some of the factors that led to that? Were you as aggressive as you wanted to be? What would you say?
No, I had a tough game, period, not just in the second half. Me personally, I didn't have it. My teammates did a great job of keeping us in the game and building that lead, but me personally, I didn't have it. So, that's what I got to say about my performance.
Joe Barton, Cleveland.com. Was there a sense of surprise or shock or what have you in the locker room afterwards, just given how well the first two games had gone and that Isaiah was out?
No, it's never that. We've been playing so well. But like I said, you let a team grab momentum like that, you almost knew that last shot was going to go in. It was like you already knew. As soon as the ball went out of his hand, you kind of knew that shot was going to go in because how the game was just played throughout the second half.
Did you see, if I can follow up, LeBron, did they mix up the coverage on you from what you had seen in the first two games?
No, they didn't mix up the coverage. They did a good job of sprinting back low into the ball, doubled me a little bit more in the post. But like I said, it's that my performance personally was all on me.
Kenny wrote at WHBC. LeBron, kind of off that defensively, what went wrong in that end of the third quarter through the end of the fourth quarter defensively?
I mean, a lot of things went wrong. I don't know. Can't play the game right back in my head right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing the film tomorrow when we get together. But they moved the ball like Double T said, 28 assists, and they kept us at bay. We couldn't get stopped, so we couldn't get out in transition a lot. And those guys made plays. They made a lot of plays. They got some second chance points. We only had 2 fast break points, so they neutralized what we wanted to do.
For you, you said it was just your game. Couldn't get into a rhythm tonight. Is that what it was, based on their defense, or just not feeling it, or what?
No, it was just pretty poor. I mean, what do you want me to say? Yeah. Seemed like you only ask questions when we lose. It's a weird thing with you, Kenny. Always come around when we lose, I swear. Yeah, okay.
LeBron, what do you take from this game going forward into Tuesday night?
Well, we're gonna crack down on the film tomorrow for sure, and we got to be a lot better. I mean, it's the postseason. I mean, you win some, you lose a couple maybe, but you want to. How can you be better from game to game? And like I said, they was better today than we were, and we have to figure out a way to be better than them in Game 4. But we look forward to the challenge. I think it's great. What happened? I mean, it hurts. It's a loss in the postseason, but. I'm glad it kind of happened the way it did. Let our foot off the gas a little bit. Didn't keep the pressure on them like we have been accustomed to it. But, we have to play a lot better. We have to play a lot better in Game 4.
Jared Weiss, CLNS Media. LeBron, the Celtics scored 7 points on ATOs in the final minute. What makes this team harder than almost any team in the league, just trying to stop them on out of bounds?
Well, I said that before the series even started about Brad Stevens and ATOs. If you go back and look at my transcript, but you go back and look at my transcript, I said he's very good. Out of ATOs, he has so many different wrinkles, misdirection. You thinking the ball going this way, he has a misdirection going the other way. So. It's just you got to kind of keep your head on the swivel. He has a lot of packages, so you can plan for a few, but then he might run something that you've never seen before. But if we communicate a little bit better, out of timeouts, it'll put us in position to be more successful against that.
In Journal, Coach Lou was pretty kind of pinned that on the fourth quarter turnovers. Was that more of your lack of concentration or their hustle?
A little bit of both, a little bit of carelessness. I had one, when Kev ducked in, I should have faked high, bounced low, but I just threw it, and that lets me know I didn't have it tonight. And Jay Crowder got his hands on it. We had a couple more turnovers where we just either overpassing or overthinking or whatever the case may be. So, that definitely resulted in us not being as fluent as we've been, offensively.
Jason Lloyd, Beacon Journal. What did you mean a minute ago when you said the Athletic?
We got a good. I get it, but they no.
What did you mean a minute ago when you said you're kind of glad it happened the way that it did?
Well, I feel some adversity is all part of postseason. I feel like you have to have some type of adversity in order to be successful, and so I'm glad it. I mean, if it was going to happen, let it happen now. Let us regroup. let us regroup and all the narrative and everything that was going on. Let's regroup and let's get back to playing desperate basketball, which they did tonight. And so we gotta be a lot better for sure. Yeah. Nothing. Same thing I've been saying since I got here. I've been saying he's a special kid, he's a special talent. As the stakes get higher and higher, his game gets higher and higher. But it was nothing surprising for me. But he rose to the occasion and he put the team on his back. And we definitely needed that effort from him. And, like you said, he's just been kind of dictating the game and being a playmaker and things of that nature throughout the playoffs or even throughout this series so far. But tonight, he showed why he's one of the best point guards in the league. And he commanded us, to be better, especially in the second half.
Jared Weiss, CLNS Media and Celtics blog. When the Celtics were switching on you in the fourth quarter, you would often size up or switch on you and take it to them and often would pull back for a step back. What were you seeing when you get those looks?
Just trying to be aggressive. Obviously, I couldn't be as aggressive as in the first half because of the foul trouble. So, if I'm on the floor, I got to be aggressive and, try to make plays, help our team be successful. And, read the defense. I was able to still be aggressive and find, two of our shooters, for 2 threes, found Kev, found Swish. So, it was just trying to read the game, the game in between the game, and it worked well for us.
LeBron, Ray Jeske, ESPN 990. The fourth quarter, it seemed like it all came back to you, scoring the ball, shooting the ball over kind of a difficult stretch. Is that just kind of a thawing out thing? You're through that stretch and return to the player, the shooter, the scorer that you were the previous 10 games, or something you just had to kind of fight through? What happened there?
Yeah, my rhythm, for the most part is broken when you get, I can't remember I don't think I've ever had 4 fouls in a game before in the first half. So my rhythm is kind of broken, and you got to try to figure out ways you can still help the team. And my teammate said, just be aggressive, be you. You got us to this point and continue to do that. So, I just try to find ways to get into the lane, get some in transition. When they backed off, shoot the jumper, and felt very comfortable with it. So I was able to get back into a rhythm very fast.
And by the same token, do you feel as a team that you've kind of recovered now that you got to go back into Boston for Game 5 and you kind of refound whatever you had prior to Sunday?
Well, at the end of the day, you play the game that's in front of you. We didn't take care of business in Game 3. They played well. Tonight they played well again, but we was able to play well, especially in the second half, and we defended. And if we defend, then we're going to always give ourselves a good chance to win. So, we look forward to, to the next game. And, it's a difficult challenge because, our preparation going into the series was going against a team with Isaiah. So now, they're playing a lot differently now. So we're trying to figure out exactly what they're running and things of that nature. So it's been very difficult on this, without, IT on the floor. But, now this is 2 games that we've been able to see them. We're going to get a better understanding. So, we should be a lot better in Game 5.
LeBron, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. I was going to ask about that exactly. Do you feel like the second half was evidence of you guys starting to understand exactly what it was they're trying to do without Isaiah now that he's not there?
Yeah, like I said, we game plan because their series went to 7. We game plan for both teams, and they're a different team when IT's I'll say they're a different team. They run different things, just because of IT being a huge piece of the puzzle for them offensively. So they had to kind of reshape, and that's the beauty of having Brad Stevens as your coach. You're able to reshape what you do offensively and still, be in a good rhythm. So, it's been challenging for us to kind of, plays out of timeout. They kind of been killing us on ATOs, and we, keeping us off balance. But in the second half, we kind of finally got a little bit of rhythm, and I think we'll be a lot better, Chris, in Game 5.
LeBron, Steve Belpet, Boston Herald. They kind of caught you in a momentum shift in the second half last game. Did they almost show you a little bit more in this one? Because you guys knew what was coming out.
No, listen, they got they're well coached, and they got guys that's always kind of been counted out throughout their career. So they play with a lot of pride. And then you add the green on their back, and with this is history. This is a franchise that,
you kind of, no matter who's out on the floor, you have to play for, that franchise and play with pride. So, they're giving us everything that they have, and we're expecting it, and we want the challenge. I mean, it's the postseason. At the end of the day, you just want to win the game. It doesn't matter who you're going against or how you get the job done. You just try to figure it out, and I think we did that.
LeBron, Scott Sargent, WFNY. Kind of a two-part question. In your career, kind of looking back, have you ever seen a player get double and triple boxed on rebounding opportunities as much as Tristan has? And how big was Kevin's rebounding in addition to that, just given the way that they are defending him on the glass?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at some of the greatest rebounders in our game, and guys who create extra possessions, you got to figure out a way to try to take them out, and not take them out like in a bad way, but how do you keep them off the glass? And they're doing a really good job in the last couple of games of putting 2 or 3 bodies on them, and but when you do that, you allow our other front court player who's been a monster rebounder his whole career to come up and do the thing that he did tonight, and we needed that. We needed the 17 rebounds from Kev, and it was huge for our team.
LeBron, Hayden Grove, Cleveland.com. You mentioned you've never had 4 fouls in a game. Have you ever missed a dunk like that in the game?
No, I have. I think I missed one in Boston before. I've missed a couple dunks in my career. I think I've made more than I missed, though.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
Percentages are pretty good.
LeBron, Dave McMenamin, ESPN. When you came into the league, there was not a superstar on your team that you had to kind of manage with or manage your game with. What have you seen about the way Kyrie has either taken your example at sometimes or take the lead other times?
When I came into the league, or my first 7 seasons in the NBA?
Right, your first 7 seasons. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the kid is special, and he basically was just waiting for the opportunity to be able to blossom. And I'm just happy and blessed that when I decided to come back that I was able to help him blossom, I guess, because he gets to play, in games that he's always been built for. He just never had the opportunity because of the team at that point in time. So, me coming back and we getting Kev and making a trade for JR and Timo and Shump and all the pieces started coming together, and Double T gets better, and Delhi and all that. And in year 1, it started to, even though it wasn't the successful season that we would have hoped for, it gave him some experience that he didn't have in his first, I don't know what he had, 4 seasons before I got here, that he didn't have, but he was already built for it. His game was built for it, and I'm happy, like I said, to be able to, I guess, sit back with 4 fouls and see him do what he's always been built to do. He was born for these moments.
LeBron, Bill Bender, Sporting News. How much did the defense help trigger that 40-point third quarter, you guys as a team collectively on defense?
Well, I mean, in order to be successful, you have to defend. You have to defend, and especially versus a team like this who move the ball, share the ball, move bodies, and they're very precise with their offensive sets. You have to defend, and it allows us to get to our best attribute at times, and that's to get out on the open floor. So I think that allowed us to outscore them by 17 in the third.
Dave Chudowski, WKYC, Channel 3, Cleveland. LeBron, the sense I got from Boston fans when I left there, they didn't really feel like that they'd be coming back, that you guys would come back. How difficult will it be to close them out with a chance to go to the finals again?
Well, the closeout game is always the hardest. And then also you're doing it in Boston, it's going to make it even harder. So, we have to go in with the bunker mentality as we had in Game 1 and Game 2 to go out and do what we do. But we have to defend. We have to execute offensively. We have to have low turnovers, and we have to try to make them miss because some of those guys play a lot better at home. It's just how the game be played. But we play the game, and we'll see what happens. Appreciate it.